Hey guys, Droopy Harlow here with 9 Leadership. Welcome back to another video. This video is actually a reaction to a previous video that I did about diversity, inclusion, that kind of thing, and the whole Black Lives Matter movement, where I talked about having conversations about race and about diversity with black folks and white folks. It's kind of a follow-up, actually. It's a couple of weeks ago that a video came out, and some people have come to me asking me how to have those discussions. So that's what we'll talk about today. How do you have a conversation about race and diversity between the races? Stay tuned. The challenge about having these discussions between races is that it can be very, very awkward for both people, but especially for the person of color, because they're not used to having that discussion with a white person. And then especially for the white person, because they're not used to having a discussion at all. So what do we do? The bottom line is you want to make it comfortable on all sides, as comfortable as possible. There will be discomfort, okay? You cannot shy away from the discomfort. A lot of times I've spoken with white people about this, and their reaction, they've been honest with me about their reaction typically, which is just to run away from the conversation, or to shut down, or be quiet, or kind of just nod and smile and pretend it's going to go away. Well, that's what got us where we are right now. On the flip side of things, the people of color I've talked to are tired of having discussions at all. They're tired of having to explain things to white people or help them understand where they're coming from. And then they shut down, or they just nod and smile and move on. And again, that's how we got where we are right now. So how do we have these discussions? What I found is that it comes down to intention. On the part of white people, if your intention is to feel better about yourself and to get a person of color to tell you, to reassure you that you're a good person, that you're not the problem right now, I'd rather you not have the conversation at all, because that's just going to get awkward, it's going to get weird, and it's not fair to that person of color that they need to put you in a situation to comfort you right now. If you're a person of color and someone approaches you with that conversation and you shut them down, you cannot turn around and blame that person for not understanding. Sure, they can read all the books in the world, but they're not going to understand the experience until they read your lips as you talk and tell them what's going on, until they hear it. Hearing someone speak versus reading a story, there's no comparison in terms of what's more compelling. Understand that hearing someone's story and reading someone's story are two completely different things. Sure, you can have an emotional reaction to both situations, but at the end of the day, you want them to hear the story from you. You want them to hear your experiences, not an account from 50 or 60 years ago. Sure, they might be somewhat similar nowadays, but it's very, very different when it hits home and it hits someone that you know. I wish that wasn't the case, but it really is. So when you're able to articulate to someone else that, hey, I lived through this situation, this is something that I experienced, or someone I loved, someone in my life experienced, that's a lot more compelling than saying, hey, Rosa Parks sat on a bus and refused to get up because she didn't deserve to sit there. Which one hits home for you? Think about that for a second. The other thing I would say is to examine the point of the conversation. There are two kinds of conversations. There's activity-based and there's outcome-based. If you're having an activity-based conversation, it's talking about the weather. It's talking about nonsense, small talk that don't actually have any impact on anyone's life. But if you're talking about outcome-based conversations, those are the ones that really hit home. Those are the conversations that actually matter, and they can make a difference in someone's life. That's what you want to make sure that you're setting the plate for. As a white person, when you approach someone of color about having this discussion, don't just ask them how they're doing and expect them to spill the beans to you. You gotta understand that they've had these conversations for their entire lives, and they're kind of tired of having them. So if they are thinking about the situation as another energy sapping situation to explain everything blindly, with no real end to the conversation, no real outcome, no real goal of that conversation, they're not going to be very inclined to have that discussion. But if you go to them and say, hey, listen, this George Floyd thing, I watched the video or whatever, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Have you ever experienced anything like that? And you're really specific about what you want to know about that conversation or what you want to understand about that, they're that much more likely to talk to you and help you understand that. For the people of color, again, if they're able to articulate that to you and let you know what they're looking for, what kind of outcome how they're trying to understand your situation and your point of view, try to be there for them. Try to be there as a resource for them. It's not your job to educate them. I fully agree with that. All right, it's not people of color's job to educate people who are white. Fine, but who else's job is it going to be? Who else is going to do that? Are you going to depend on the media to do that? Because they've done a bang-up job so far. Movies? Yeah, they represent people of color really, really well. Remember Crazy Rich Asians? That was great. That was the only movie that represented Asians that are not South Asian. Oh yeah, Slumdog Millionaire. There's that one too. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Extraction. That one didn't take any heat at all. That's for another video, but that was yeah. Yeah. Look at what other options there are, and tell me there's a better option than talking to you as a person of color. In conclusion, if you're a white person looking to have a conversation to understand better the experience of a person of color, please approach this with the same organization skills, I would say, that you would approach a meeting, right? Set an outcome for the conversation. Let them know what you're looking for out of that conversation, and that you're not looking for them to comfort you or to make you feel better about yourself. If that is what you're looking for, take some time to figure that out up front before you have that conversation, and then just don't have it if that's what you're looking for. If that's really what you really want out of the situation, that's up to you to comfort yourself and to understand that you're a good person or not. Only you know that. People of color, please be open to these conversations because there's no one else to have them. We can't keep passing the buck along. We've done that for too long, and we have to stand up for ourselves and have to stand up and let people know what our stories are. We have to share our stories. We've kept our heads down for way too long. That's how we got where we are right now. That's got to stop. And I'm talking to black people, Indian people, Asian people, every minority out there, Hispanic people. I'm not just talking to black people. We're all in the same situation, frankly. And to be honest, black people are doing it the best right now because you actually can come together. This is another topic for another video, but as Asians, South Asians, we have to be able to start coming together as a people and stop dividing ourselves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button if you did. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get notified of future videos, and hit that bell. And if you have any questions, comments, observations, concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below. Constructive comments only. This is a very hot button topic, I understand. But I'm happy to have a discussion, an intelligent discussion with anyone who wants to have one. So, thanks again, guys. Take care and stay safe. See you next time.